No modern day on the Norfolk Southern D&H line would be complete without 16R flying by in the morning. And that's especially true for this morning as the train glides along the D&H in the morning sun. We go from the nice shine in the morning to the complete darkness of night, where NS-30T makes its way south with 4 units, 3 of them being AC-44 C6Ms and 1 being an SD-70 ACE. I would say about 75% of the time, 30T is a night train through here around this time of year. As we approach the summer and spring months, more 30Ts will show up in the daylight because the days will get longer. Tonight's 30T is hauling the usual Canadian paper products, lumber, acid, scrap metal, and all sorts of goodies. Another train that's been showing up right around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. is the 264. .264 is one of the night trains that are here, but on occasion he does run during the daytime. However, for whatever reason, just as late, he's been showing up at 9 to 10 p.m. Why? I don't know. But before that, he used to show up at random times all the time. One day he can show up at 6:30 a.m., but the next he can show up right at 10 p.m. And then the day after that, he could show up at 3 a.m. But this makes it a little more consistent if he's showing up at a consistent time. Tonight's 264 isn't just intermodal, but he also carries auto racks on his back. The lighting was better, but not the weather, as it was pouring rain when this 11R decided to show up. We're at the Harpersville Trestle once again. And despite the weather, 11R is making good time on the D&H this morning. 11R is just one of those trains that shows up randomly. Whenever it's ready to go, it goes south. Today, some interesting rolling stock is a Chicago Northwestern boxcar and a BNSF grain hopper in the mix. This train's consists of locomotives used to be more colorful all the time, with a mix between Pan Am and Norfolk Southern. It wasn't uncommon to see an SD-40-2 or a C-40-8 leading at one time this train and its northbound counterpart, the 16R. But with Pan Am's buyout by CSX and the Berkshire and Eastern, the Blue Giants just don't show up anymore.
Alright, it's rainy and it's nasty. That's enough.
The weather did not improve as the day wore on, but that didn't stop me, Evan, and a couple of girls from watching the NS-265 pass on Walnut Street here in Bainbridge, New York. Our conductor today is Hunter Downey, and his engineer gives us a shave and a haircut. The 265 also had Pan Am power at one time, but not today. Today's 265 has the normal NS power, and he's got some trailers stacked up against each other, and there's one piggyback trailer in the single stack section. This one has a refrigeration unit on the end to make sure that the product inside the container stays cold throughout its trip. A lot of the times, it's mostly frozen food items or produce, but it can be other things. That refrigerated container has got to keep the product cold until Chicago, where it will be offloaded and delivered to the customer. Since we're talking about colorful locomotives, let's look at one of Norfolk Southern's colorful locomotives, and that is the NS 4003 Red Main. The 4003 wears a special paint scheme honoring the Roanoke shops which rebuilt the unit. After the 4003, it was time to get back to the plain NS black and white. Although you can barely tell what the locomotives are with this camera lens, sometimes when it comes to street lights, cameras just don't know how to react to the lighting. Yeah, I know, not a great shot. I call that glare effect webbing because it webs all over the screen like that. That sometimes happens when I'm out here at night. The train we just saw, 11R, would meet the NS-264 in Afton, New York. These black and white engines, however, at least the trailing two, are of interest. Even though they look like standard Norfolk Southern black and white locomotives, which they are, they're endangered. They're both -944 CWs, number 9648 and 9585. Those two -9s are slated to be rebuilt this year into AC-44 C6Ms, giving them a 20-year extended life. However, they'll lose their cabs, DC traction motors, and their thoroughbred paint scheme. Their sisters are currently being rebuilt in the 9500 series and 9600 series, and it won't be long until these two are gobbled up by the rebuilding program. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and share it to your friends. Until then, thanks for watching. This is Around the Bend. God bless. Have a great day.